Ladies and gentlemen, success does not come from luck. It does not arrive in the middle of the night like a mysterious visitor who knocks on your door. Success is built brick by brick, decision by decision, habit by habit. Now, I know you've heard about many habits that successful people practice. Waking up early, reading daily, exercising, journaling, and yes, those are important. But today, I want to share with you one habit, just one, that has the power to change your life overnight. And that habit is keeping promises to yourself. Think about it. Most people break promises to themselves all the time. They say, tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow comes and they hit the snooze button. They say, I'll start eating better. Then the cookie jar calls their name. They say, I'll begin saving money. But when the weekend comes, their wallet is empty. Here's the truth. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, you slowly lose trust in your own word. And when you no longer trust yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? But the moment you flip that around, when you say, I'll do it, and then you actually do it, your confidence grows. Your belief in yourself expands. Suddenly you begin to respect yourself at a deeper level. And when you respect yourself, discipline follows. That one habit, the habit of keeping your word to yourself, creates a chain reaction. It spills into your health, your relationships, your finances, your career. Because if you can trust yourself to follow through, there's nothing you cannot achieve. Let me give you an example. Imagine you promise yourself to read 10 pages a day. Just 10 pages. Not a big promise. But if you keep that promise for a year, that's 3,650 pages, about 15 to 20 books. Knowledge compounds. And knowledge changes everything. Or maybe you promise yourself you'll put aside just $5 a day. That's $150 a month, $1,800 a year. Small, maybe. But here's what's big. You kept your word. You proved to yourself that you have discipline, and that confidence will push you to increase it. Remember this. Self-respect comes from self-discipline, and self-discipline is simply keeping the promises you make to yourself. So tonight, before you go to bed, write down one promise to yourself. Just one. Make it small, make it clear, and most importantly, keep it, because that sets the habit that changes everything. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin tonight with a thought. Life doesn't change overnight because of luck. Life doesn't change overnight because of a lottery ticket. Life doesn't change overnight because of someone else doing something for you. Life changes overnight when you change. And the question is, what is that one small shift, that one habit, that one decision that can change your life so quickly, so dramatically, that when you look back, you shall say, that was the moment, that was the turning point. I believe there is one habit, just one that holds the power to change your life faster than anything else. And that habit is this: keeping promises to yourself. Now think about it. We're very good at keeping promises to other people. If your boss asks you to be at work by 9, you show up. If your friend asks you to meet them for lunch, you're there. If your family needs you, you sacrifice for them. But here's the problem. When you make promises to yourself, you break them far too often. You say you'll start the diet tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You say you'll wake up early, but you hit the snooze button. You say you'll save money, but you spend it on things you didn't really need. And every time you break a promise to yourself, you chip away at your own confidence. You weaken your own trust. You teach yourself that your word doesn't matter. And my friends, that's dangerous. Because when you no longer trust yourself, you stop believing in your own potential. But here's the good news. The very moment you reverse that pattern, when you say, I'll do it, and then you actually do it, something inside of you begins to change. Your confidence grows. Your belief in yourself gets stronger. Suddenly you respect yourself at a new level. And when you respect yourself, discipline follows. And when discipline follows, results come. This is why I call it the one habit that can change your life overnight. Not because your bank account doubles overnight. Not because you lose 30 pounds overnight. Not because you become a millionaire in 24 hours. But because the very first day you keep your word to yourself, your entire identity shifts. You become a person you can trust. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is life-changing. Let me give you an example. Imagine you promise yourself that you'll read just 10 pages a day. Not a big promise. 10 pages. That's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. But if you do it every day, by the end of a year, you've read 3,650 pages, 15 to 20 books. You've gained knowledge, perspective, wisdom, and that knowledge compounds. 10 pages a day doesn't just give you information, it gives you transformation. Or imagine you promise yourself to set aside $5 a day, just 5. That's one fancy coffee. At the end of a year, you've got $1,800. Small, maybe, but here's the real treasure. You proved to yourself that you could keep a promise, and that proof is worth far more than the money. Because once you trust yourself with $5, you can trust yourself with 50, and then 500, and then 5,000. The size of the promise doesn't matter. What matters is the integrity behind it. Keeping promises to yourself is like planting seeds. Every time you do it, you plant a seed of discipline, a seed of confidence, a seed of self-respect. And if you plant enough seeds, soon you'll have a harvest. You'll have abundance, not just in money, but in character, in health, in relationships, in life. Now let me ask you something. How many of you have ever set a goal and then quit halfway? How many of you promised yourself you'd start tomorrow, and tomorrow never came? Don't be ashamed, we've all done it. But tonight that can change, because success is not about making huge promises you can't keep. Success is about making small promises and keeping them consistently. Remember this, self-respect comes from self-discipline. And self-discipline is nothing more than keeping promises you make to yourself. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who wanted to get in shape. He told himself he'd go to the gym for 1 hour every day. And the first week he did. But by the second week he quit. Why? Because the promise was too big, too heavy. He overloaded himself. But then he changed his approach. He promised himself he would just put on his shoes and walk into the gym for 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes. He could leave after that if he wanted. But here's what happened. Once he was in the gym, he stayed longer. 5 minutes turned into 20, 20 into 30. And within 6 months, he was in the best shape of his life. Not because of giant promises, but because of tiny ones that he actually kept. Do you see the lesson? Don't overpromise. Don't make vows so big that you can't keep them. Start small. Start realistic. And then build momentum. Now, some people might say, Jim, is it really that simple? Just keep promises to myself? And I'll say, yes, it really is that simple. But simple is not the same as easy. Easy to do, easy not to do. Easy to promise, easier to break. But if you discipline yourself to keep just one promise a day, your life will never be the same. Think about this. When you trust yourself, you don't need motivation from outside. You don't need someone pushing you, cheering you, holding your hand. You become your own coach. You become your own motivator. And that's when you become unstoppable. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you go to bed, write down one promise to yourself. Not 10, not 5, not 3, just one. Make it small, make it clear. And then tomorrow, keep it. And when you've done it, write down another. Do this every day for the next 7 days. And watch how you begin to feel about yourself. Imagine a year from now looking in the mirror and saying, I trust myself, I keep my word, I am disciplined. That's worth more than any trophy, any certificate, any applause. That's the foundation of success. So my friends, if you want to change your life overnight, stop looking for miracles. Stop waiting for secrets. Stop hoping for luck. Start keeping promises to yourself. Do it once and you'll feel proud. Do it twice and you'll feel stronger. Do it daily and your life will never be the same. Because in the end, success is not built on talent, not built on luck, not built on chance. It's built on trust. Trust in yourself. And before I leave you tonight, I want to share something even deeper. Because keeping promises to yourself is not just about success in business or health or finances. It's about the kind of person you become. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that really matters. You see, you can achieve wealth, you can achieve status, you can achieve recognition. But if you don't respect yourself, if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, I am proud of the person I have become, then none of it matters. Success without self-respect is failure in disguise. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever known someone who had all the talent in the world but never went anywhere? Someone who had the brains, the looks, the opportunities, but somehow they kept falling short? And on the other hand, you've seen people who maybe didn't start with much, no connections, no fancy degrees, no big inheritance, but they kept their word, they showed up every day, and over time they built something extraordinary. What's the difference? The difference is discipline. The difference is integrity with themselves. The difference is they kept promises. That's the power I'm asking you to unlock tonight. Because the world does not reward wishful thinking. The world rewards discipline. The world rewards consistency. The world rewards those who plant seeds and water them daily, even when the harvest seems far away. And here's the truth. You don't need to keep promises to impress other people. You don't need to prove yourself to the world. You only need to prove yourself to one person, yourself. Because when you trust yourself, everything else falls into place. Now imagine for a moment that you're standing at the end of your life. You're looking back. You're remembering the years, the choices, the opportunities, and you realize something. Life is not judged by the promises you made, but by the promises you kept. That's your legacy. That's your story. People won't remember what you said you would do. They'll remember what you actually did. That's why tonight I'm asking you to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't commit to 50 things you know you won't follow through on. Pick one. Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier. Maybe it's walking around the block every evening. Maybe it's saving $1 a day. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Simple things, easy things, things that seem so small they almost feel unimportant. But here's the secret. Small things, done consistently, create the biggest changes. Remember this? Greatness is never built in one giant leap. It's built in tiny steps. It's built in those invisible moments when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when no one even knows what you're doing. But you know. And because you know, you begin to transform. Now let me tell you another story. A young man once asked me, Jim, what's the secret to success? And I told him there is no secret. It's just a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. He thought success had to be complicated. He thought he had to wait for the perfect opportunity. But I reminded him that opportunity is always waiting. It's discipline that's missing. The world is full of opportunity, but few people have the discipline to seize it. And discipline begins with this one habit. Keep your word to yourself. Think of it this way. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you put a deposit in the bank of self-respect. And over time, that bank account grows. It grows so large that when challenges come, and you can draw on that account. You can say, I've done it before, I can do it again. I can trust myself. But if you keep breaking promises, you'll find yourself bankrupt. No confidence, no self-trust, no foundation to stand on when life gets tough. And life will get tough. Don't let anyone fool you. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be disappointments. But here's the difference. When you've built the habit of keeping promises to yourself, you'll know how to stand up again. You'll know how to rebuild. You'll know how to try once more. Now let me paint the picture for you. Imagine 2 people starting at the same place today. One makes promises they don't keep. They talk big, but their actions are small. A year from now, they're still in the same place, maybe worse. They've lost trust in themselves, and others don't believe in them either. The second person, they start with just one small promise. They keep it, then another, A year from now, they've stacked up hundreds of tiny victories. Their confidence has grown, their results have multiplied, and their life has transformed. Same starting point, different ending. Why? Because of one habit. That habit, my friends, is keeping promises to yourself. So tonight, I want to challenge you. Don't just listen. Don't just nod your head. Don't just say that was a nice talk. I want you to take action. I want you to prove to yourself, starting tonight, that your word matters. That when you say something, you mean it. Pick one thing. Write it down. Say it out loud if you have to. Then tomorrow, do it. And when you've done it, celebrate. Not with fireworks, not with applause, but with the quiet satisfaction of knowing you are becoming the kind of person who can be trusted. Because trust is the foundation of all success. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything becomes possible. Now imagine if you applied this habit for the next 30 days. Imagine the confidence you'd build. Imagine the momentum. Imagine the respect you'd gain for yourself. Then imagine applying it for a year, then 5 years, then a lifetime. Can you see it? That's the future you could have. That's the life you could build. But it starts here. It starts tonight. It starts with one promise. And so as I leave you, I want you to remember this simple truth. Life does not change because you wish it to. Life does not change because you hope it will. Life changes because you decide and then you act. And the very first act is to keep your word to yourself. Do this, and your life will never be the same. So my friends, if you want your life to change overnight, stop searching for secrets. Stop waiting for miracles. Start with this one habit. Keep your promises to yourself. Do it once, and you'll feel proud. Do it twice, and you'll feel stronger. Do it daily, and your life will never be the same. Thank you.